That's why we try to encourage people to speak their mind and their thoughts. So this competition is for all young people who are age 9 to 24, and it's divided into four different categories. You've got the youngster voy, junior voy, teen voy, and senior voy. WeVoi works into two different rounds. We've got the national round as well as the global round. We had a wonderful and a very successful first round for this year, which was on the 18th of December 2020. Its topic was in an ideal world, and it was a great pleasure to listen to all those young minds who spoke about their perception of an ideal world. So the national round is also divided into two rounds. We've got the first one that we're already done with it, and the second round will be on the 5th March of 2021. The topic will be My Voice Matters. The reason why we've got two national rounds is to give a chance to the ones who couldn't participate in one of them, so they can participate and share their thoughts and ideas with us. The global round is the last round that we have, and the speakers who qualify from the national round get the chance to go to the global round. So the main reason why we have this competition is because we want to encourage all young minds to share their ideas. We all know that speaking in public is not easy, but we need someone who heartens us to try and speak our minds. As I already mentioned, we had a really successful round, and we will announce its results at the end of the workshop. So I invite all of you to stay tuned with us, because we will announce the top speakers, top three speakers from each category. Now, before going further, I would like to share with you two videos from our top speakers last year. Before that, all right, so let's watch two videos from our top speakers from the last year, and then we will move on. All right.
Nowadays, scientists can almost predict anything, but there is something that they cannot really predict: the future, the mysterious future. Since I was little, I used to think, how's life gonna be? Hello, my name is Sofia Jambori, and today I want to tell you why I think the future is bright. Thinking about this topic, I understood that the best way to express myself is through proof. So today I have two special guests with me, my grandmother and my mother. I realized that it's no better way to see why the future is bright than making a difference between three generations. So I asked my grandmother, who's 82 years old, how she saw the future when she was a child. I was so excited about going to the city and start middle school. I had no idea how things were there. A very funny moment was when me and my sister went for the first time at the cinema. We sat at the front row. At one point, there was a train scene, and I thought the train is gonna hit me. So I got up and ran. But keep in mind, this happened 70 years ago, so what expectations should you have? About the future, we had very little knowledge. So I was just dreaming about being better, not about technology or others. Now, to answer one of your questions, in my opinion, the future is bright because of the evolution. Now, everybody has electricity, water, and we didn't. My life wasn't easy. I lived alone with my younger sister since I was 11, but I think that made me the person I am today, made me stronger. I know I haven't really talked about how I saw the future when I was a child because there's not much to say. I didn't have expectations. It's definitely better, and I'm happy for that. My grandmother's opinion. She has a lot of great stories, and maybe one day she'll tell them to you. Now it's time for me to tell you what my mom told me. I was seeing myself in the future improving personally, being a happy adult with a happy family. Everything that I dreamed of came true, and I think that's the power of dreaming, of projecting. About the future of the world, through my kid's eyes, I saw a future that was beautiful, light, and bright. As a child, I was watching a lot of science fiction movies, and things that were happening there seemed impossible to me. But now, they're real. The technology is definitely improving every day. I'm very happy that now people have more opportunities for growing and we are more open minded. So now that you heard my mom's and my grandmother's story, I would like to tell you mine. How do I see the future? Well, it's hard to say because nowadays I saw mostly everything I imagined happening. I believe that everything is possible. It's hard to say how the future is gonna be like. I know that it's something prepared for us, something bright. So, in conclusion, with this speech, I wanted to show you how three different generations think and thought. I hope you can see some differences. Now, for the ending, the future is a long, rough road, but at the end of the day, we all wait the next day with excitement, maybe to be better. And that is what future is all about, that mystery of not knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow. The future is bright because of the technology, but mostly because of the strong people that we are today. Everything we've been through made us stronger. And now the future is not longer a fear, it's a joy. Together, every day, we are making the future bright. Thank you.
Hi, I'm David. I'm a high school student and I'm here to talk about inspiration and impression, just like all the others. First, let me tell you a story. There was a boy, just an ordinary boy whose name is David, just like mine. A boy who wanted to be popular, to be the coolest kid in school, and everyone to like him. He was doing weird stuff in school, just to get attention. He had unusual haircuts, he wore his pants sagging, sometimes even backwards. He didn't study and he got passing grades by copying from others and cheating on the test. After graduation, he found himself disappointed from his job, his body, and his life. He was working in Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches. He weighed 297 pounds and he had nothing. One night, when he went home, he turned on the TV. There was a show on about the Navy SEALs, and David was hooked on the idea of becoming a SEAL. That moment, he understood that he was living a lie. He understood that everything he did in life was to impress others, that this is what got him where he is now. A desire appeared in his heart. This moment. And he promised to himself that he will be different. He will do something different. And he will do it for himself, not for the others. He will do something meaningful. He called the local recruiter for Navy and asked him to be a part of training for the next class of Navy SEALs. He was told that he must lose 100 pounds in 3 months in order to join the program. This seemed impossible, but David trained hard every day, pushing himself to his absolute limits, and he cut his calorie intake in half. He put countless hours running and lifting weights, doing 300 to 400 reps at a time. He spent hours in the pool daily, overcoming his fear of water. David succeeded, but having lost 100 pounds, he was weak, heading into maybe the toughest training program in the world. He fell twice due to suffering injuries, but quitting was not an option for him. During his third attempt, after sustaining microfractures in his ankles, he rubbed them with duct tape to nail the agonizing pain and he pushed through, becoming the first recruit ever to participate in 3 Navy training weeks in a single year. He graduated with full honors and went to have a successful career in military. Not only that, he became a marathon runner and broke the Guinness World Record for most pull-ups in 24 hours. His name is David Goggins, the man who did the impossible. He's famous for his book which inspired millions of people, and I'm one of them. From a kid who tried to impress others, I became one of the most successful students in our school, and these are some of my results of this and the previous year. Guys, don't do anything to please others. This will not make you happy, and this is not the right way of doing things. This is the easy way, and this can only lead you to disappointment. Do what is meaningful, something that others are too scared to do. Do something that people around you will get inspired, because we were born to inspire, not to impress.
Yes, these were our two videos from our top speakers from last year. We have a lot of more from last year, but most important of all, we've got the new speakers from this year, which we will be announcing in the end of our workshop. All right, so now, as we mentioned in the beginning, we will have with us Jacob. Stage fright is surely one of the most common phobias that people nowadays face. Jake is going to show us today how to be a fearless thinker. She worked as a newspaper journalist before starting a career in teaching and school leadership. She was awarded an OBE in 2002 for developing innovative learning to program that raised achievement for both students and teachers. She's a trained clarity coach and author of several best-selling books, and Jackie is passionate about giving children, their teachers, and school leaders opportunities and strategies to develop the confidence and courage that will help them thrive in school and beyond. We're very pleased to have Jackie here today, so join us into welcoming her to tell us more about how to be a fearless thinker. And if you've got any questions, please write them down in the chat box and we will look at them in the end of Jackie's speech. So Jackie, welcome again.
Yes, and I want to apologise for being late. I had a bit of a panic about my very old mother and it just threw me with the timing. I'm so sorry. But I do want to talk to all of you about being a fearless thinker because as a teacher and a head teacher, I absolutely know how anxiety can get in the way of your performance and everything you do. And as when I was your age, I was terrified of public speaking. Actually, I wasn't at your age, but it came to me in my late teens. I got phobic about it and I was an extrovert character, but somehow I was terrified of speaking out and people listening to me. It got so bad that I couldn't even tell a joke without getting a heartbeat increase and really scared of public speaking. So I really want to share with you how I then, following leaving my job and being terrified and being on medication for anxiety, I became eventually a head teacher, a public speaker to massive groups internationally, and how you can live your life without all that fearless thinking. It's so important. And in the pandemic, it's easy to get afraid of what might happen, afraid of what the future might be. And actually, that's really what I'm going to talk to. I'm going to share some slides with you in a moment. And they're really important because the thing that makes us afraid is actually not so much what's happening now, but the thought of what's happening now. It is our thinking. And I work quite a lot with young people, coaching them, and to understand how you don't have to believe your thoughts. You know, you have a thought about something, you take it seriously, it builds up in your head, and you become terrified of that. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, how not to believe all the thoughts that your head might be telling you. So I'm going to share my screen and share, so I know some of you are in a bit of a hurry, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how to be a fearless thinker. Well, the first thing is to consider when you think about being a fearless thinker is what is it that you're afraid of? For me, it was public speaking, and also it was these spiders. And, you know, just the thought of a spider, just the picture of a spider could make me really, really afraid. And that sort of heartbeat and, you know, the way it feels to be afraid is quite scary. And I want you to think about for a minute, you know, what impact does it have on you, fear? You know, being afraid of something. You can even be afraid that you've said something wrong, you've made a mistake, and it actually creates a bodily feeling. It creates a heartbeat, it creates sweating. It sort of gets you very, very scared. And actually, that stuff goes on in here. That stuff goes on in your head. And when, you know, it starts in your head, as I discovered, it works its way down to your body. And that's quite scary. That's spreading to your body feeling, that panic attack. And for me, public speaking became something that if someone asked me to do it, or I had to speak up in a meeting, or I had to say something in the assembly because I was a teacher, I would be terrified. It would scare me to death. And it would be the thought of it. I would not sleep because I had this fear. And learning to get over that took me 10 years to get over this. And so I want to share with you how I got over it and how you can be fearless and really discover that you are absolutely capable of doing scary things, and you should. And I was so pleased to come on and see some of those speakers earlier today, to see how they were speaking up and not being afraid to come on screen, to speak up and do the things that they were doing. Because the more you push yourself outside your comfort zone, the more fearless you'll become. The more you look at that spider and you start off by putting a jar over it and a card underneath it and actually rescuing it rather than squatting it, the more confident you'll become, until in the end you can pick it up with a tissue and put it outside. And the more you speak up, the more confident you'll be about hearing your own voice. So this is really important stuff. And I want you to, first of all, just become, the first step, become conscious of your thinking, of how you're feeling at the moment. And this is the first step towards fearless thinking, is understand how you think, how you feel, and just work out what mood you're in at the moment. Well, on that little scale there, how are you feeling right this moment now? And then just think about what it means to be feeling really joyful. The whole idea of it, when you're feeling happy and in a good mood, you're energetic, you're open-minded, and you're certainly brave. And sometimes we're not even conscious of our moods. And actually, like the weather can be good or bad. Well, you can't control your moods any more really than you can control the weather. But there is one thing you can do. You can change the way you think about your moods. And the process I'm talking about here is something called metacognition. Meta means standing back, and cognition means you're thinking. So metacognition is all about thinking. And I would say the answer to fearless thinking is to think on purpose, instead of letting your natural sort of thoughts and doubts and worries and anxieties creep in and you don't even notice them. That's really, really crucial. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing is just think about, what's your default setting? What's the normal mood you're in on an everyday basis? Well, we all have ups and downs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But becoming conscious of your mood gives you an opportunity to think, okay, how can I change it? And actually, just even going for a walk, changing your body position, listening to some music can change the way you think and can change your mood. And some people get neural pathways and get in the attitude of sort of feeling, oh, this is boring, oh, I can't be bothered, oh, I don't want to do this. And or something like, oh, something's out to get me, something's going to go wrong today, always goes wrong for me. And these are all habits of thinking. They're neural pathways that get set in your head. And then once they're settled, you don't even know they're there, but they are framing everything that you see, from the weather to going to school to doing a speech. They frame everything. So I just want you to get conscious today on the state of your mind and how it frames situations. For example, sometimes problems feel out of our control. Fall out with friends, you've said something wrong, school, you get a bad grade, you come top every time and then you don't come top. This is scary stuff, and family problems, worrying about your parents and your sisters and brothers and the health and all this, and the pandemic, of course. All of this stuff can feel out of our control, and what can we do about it? And that makes us feel unhappy, and it makes us feel fearful, full of fear about what's going to happen, uncertainty. Do you know what? Life is pretty uncertain. None of us know what's going to happen. None of us know even how the pandemic is going to roll out. And how you feel in this moment now is the only thing that you can control. And what I would say is that, yeah, there's a lot of things you can't change in life, but there's one thing you can definitely change, and that's the light bulb moment. You can change the way you see it. You can change your mind, you can change the way you see it, and you can get in the habit of seeing things in a really powerfully positive way. And that's really, really important. That's what fearless thinking is about. So I want you to think about your thoughts, how many thoughts you have, how thoughts come in all the time. Do you know how many thoughts you have a day? Well, I could tell you, they reckon approximately 60,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. And some of us will be having thoughts that undermine us, that make us, feel insecure, feel scared. And the main thing is, as those thoughts come in and go, come in and go, some are neutral, some are good, some are bad. But you know what? Our instinct is to focus on the negative thoughts, the scary thoughts. You know why? Because that's how we've survived as human beings. Because when in our ancestors went into the woods and heard a sound, they thought it was a tiger, so they ran very, very fast and they escaped. And that anxiety is sort of built into our survival. So that flight fight, you know, grabbing on to the scary thoughts is actually exactly why we get anxiety. It's just our brain trying to look after us, trying to protect us from danger. But once you realize, you know what? That's just a thought. I don't need to focus on that. I'm just going to let that go. You can actually let it go and don't grow it, but get curious about it. Just think, is that really true? So for me, when I was thinking about public speaking, for example, and I would be thinking, everyone's judging me, I'm going to dry up, I'm going to not be able to breathe, all the things I thought, I had to think, hang on a minute, I have done speeches and it's gone fine. And actually, I'm going to remember and rehearse the good parts about all my speeches and how good I felt about it, not focus on things that haven't even happened yet, but might happen and are creeping into my head to scare me to death. And that's the thing. Get curious. Ask yourself, is that really true? When you think, oh, I said something wrong yesterday in school and my friend isn't really speaking to me, I think she's fallen out with me. Is it true? Because it probably isn't. It probably isn't. So get curious and let the negative thoughts go and focus on the positive thoughts, because we don't tend to do that. One way to focus on the positive thoughts is to, at the end of every day, write a gratitude journal. Write things you're grateful for, the things you love, the things you're really pleased about, the things you're lucky that make you lucky. That's a really good way to end every day and go to sleep and sleep well. Now, when you're a baby, this is my granddaughter, when you were a baby, you were fearless. So you are all actually fearless learners. But when you go to school, and she's now gone to school actually, you learn to compare yourself with others, to find out you're not so good at some things and you're better at other things. So you sort of become then afraid. When she was learning to walk, she didn't fall over 10 times and think, right, that's it. I'm embarrassed. I'm not going to walk anymore. I'm going to crawl the rest of my life. She didn't think that. She just carried on because she didn't have all those thoughts, because she was a toddler and she was fearless and she would go up and down steps and we think, that's dangerous. She didn't think that. She thought, I've got to learn this. This is what I'm going to learn. I'm motivated. So every one of you, connect with your inner baby, because your inner baby is your fearless learner. And also, by the way, your perfect learner, learning by copying, learning by modeling, learning by watching, learning by listening. Absolutely, you have all got that baby inside you. And the thing about it is, as we get older, we go into our comfort zone. So we're in this comfort zone of security and doing what we like to do, doing what we come top in, doing what we're good at. Maybe some of you are great speakers, but have you recently gone for a run or done a dance or all the things that are outside your comfort zone? Because it's doing the hard things that we're not comfortable with that will grow your fearlessness, your powerful thinking. So there will be things that panic you, and the thing to do is to desensitize yourself about them, whatever they might be. And there are things that will grow you, and they are everything that seems hard. Do you know what? If you're at school or here in life doing anything that isn't a little bit hard, a little bit scary, you will not be growing your new neural pathways. You will not be growing your fearless thinking. It's actually really important to do things outside your comfort zone, especially if you're very bright and able, weirdly, because a lot of the research shows that sometimes when you're really bright and able and your parents say, oh, you're so brilliant, you're great, what happens is you don't really want to fall off that pedestal. So what you do is you only do the things you're really good at, so you keep coming top. No, do things that you're not going to come top in, because that way you realize it's okay to make mistakes. We're all learning, we're all getting better and better. Now, what happens, you see, as you grow from being that lovely baby, is you develop a cognitive bias. And the cognitive bias is your sort of habitual beliefs. Now, for me, it was, I'm no good at speaking, I don't do speaking. Some people, it's about their physical appearance. I'm fat and ugly. And, there are people that are not fat and are not ugly that think they are. And it's a habitual train of thought that goes over and over and over again. And once you get that, you're not even conscious of it, but no one can convince you of anything otherwise. So it's really important to bear in mind that, check out, what are your cognitive biases? What are the things that you think are true that are not true, and ask yourself if they, and turn them around. I'm not good at making friends. Is it true? Is it really true? And check those out and turn them around, reframe them. One of mine is computers don't work for me. And today, when I was trying to get on because I knew I was late, nothing was working. So another reason why I'm late. So there's, and it makes you panic, and then you can't do anything right. And that's exactly what happened. I had to go off and get my slides back up. So these habitual beliefs create the script for your inner dialogue. And the other thing to be aware of is social media. Insecure thinking is addictive. You sort of can't help going on there and thinking, yeah, that's right. Your ego is telling you, see, I told you no one likes you. Go on social media. No one's talking to you. You've been left out of this party or this activity. It's almost looking for confirmation of your self-doubt and your concerned, anxious thinking. So watch out. People who go on social media have far less serotonins, which are the things that make you happy, far less serotonin. So watch out for social media. Use as a power for good. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it dwell with you if it's negative. Here's a few really fearless thinking challenges for you. I've just put them up there, and I'm going to leave my email address at the end of this. I've got loads more resources on my website that you can check into. And all of these things here, a lot of them are voice-based, because I know we're WeVoi in this, and some of them are a bit silly, but some of them will give you a chance to push yourself outside your comfort zone. I mean, dancing, learning a new language, baking a cake, whatever it is that's the hardest thing there, do that thing. And if you would like me to send you this, I will, because I have got a couple more slides I just want to share with you that sort of sum up, and then I'll ask for questions. So my 5 fearless thinking tips. Number 1, push yourself out your comfort zone every day. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You've heard of that expression. It's almost like, you want to get used to feeling a bit scared and realizing it's all going to be all right. Become conscious of your unhelpful thinking and learn to let that go. Mindfulness really helps in this. Mindfulness is that pressing the pause button and breathe. Even for 2 minutes a day, just focus, the old sort of yoga thing, yoga, Pilates, mindfulness, just relax, breathe, focus on your senses, focus on breathing, and do that every day. It's really good for fearless thinking, because it just gets you back into the moment. Reframing every situation. So think, how could I see this another way? I do coaching with young people and with adults. And believe me, there are plenty of adults that suffer from this. And I, as a coach, what I do is just get people to challenge their thoughts. That's all. And it just makes a difference, because you realize I don't have to think like that. Being kind to yourself. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to someone you love. So when I'm being harsh on myself and thinking, oh God, I got to that meeting late, I'm hopeless, I'm a disaster, which is what I've been thinking, I can actually think, hang on a minute, if my little granddaughter had done that, I'd be saying, oh, let yourself off, you had a crisis, it happens, I'm sure they'll all forgive you. It's being kind to yourself when you get it wrong. And I demonstrated getting it wrong today. And I suppose what I want is you to have thoughts like this. You are okay. You're much more capable than you think. Every mistake you make is a learning experience. And if you're looking at things like that, it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make more mistakes, and then you learn more. If you get it all right all the time, you are never going to learn. and do something that scares you every day. Um, I'm just gonna, there's my website, and anyone that wants to go on, there's some downloadable things. I've written a book called The Complete Learner's Toolkit there in the middle, which is all about 30 lessons on how to get yourself thinking in ways that make you strong and powerful and confident and able to do anything. And that's my email address if anybody wants to get some of these slides or anything to look at again. But is there anybody that has got any questions? And I know we're running late and it's late for you, and I'm so sorry about that.
Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed your speech, and it was quite interesting the fact that we've got like 60,000 thoughts per day. That is awesome, and the fact that sometimes we can't even control that. Yeah. But before that, let me tell you that that's totally okay. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. I hope everything is okay with her now.
It turned out that she'd been after her for a few days, but she was fine. So I only just found that out before the meeting. So thank you. She's a bit old now, but you know, it's always
That
a
is
way.
totally fine.
So.
All right, so if we've got any questions, we are happy to have them in the chat box.
I'll let go of my share screen now. Stop share.
Sure, no problem. And also one of the tips that I liked the most was the fact that press the button and breathe. Sometimes it's very important to just stop and take a deep breath.
I've got a really good tip on that while people are thinking of any questions.
Um,
If you put your thumb and finger into your middle finger very, very gently and close your eyes and just feel the ridges on your fingers. I do this all the time now since I've learned about it. Just for 1 minute, just gently feel the ridges on your fingers and just breathe. Every time you feel a thought come along that isn't helpful, just do that. And it's sort of like makes your brain move to the part where is much more able to access positive thinking. Because, you know, there's a part of our brain that is called the reptilian part of your brain, which is flight and fight. And when you have some thought that comes into your head that panics you, it makes you go into flight or fight. And if you do this very gently for about a minute and breathe, it takes you back into part of your brain that is thinking, actually, you know, it's almost like pressing the pause button on your thinking. So it's very good. He says, how can we prepare ourselves for the best? That's a question I've just saw come up. I honestly think that doing a little bit, there's an app called Headspace, which I've used. I expect some of you have used that. And it's very useful. And doing 5 minutes relaxation. When I was trying to do public speaking and I couldn't do it, the way I actually got myself out of it, and I've written a book actually with this visualization. I did a visualization, and I don't know if any of you've heard from that, but visualization is when you, for 10 minutes, and I could do this another time for one of your talks, for 10 minutes, you literally visualize your worst nightmare. That I did this with public speaking going brilliantly. And I've done it when I was a head teacher. I did it with 250 year 11 students, which is 15-year-olds, before their exam. So we did a visualization with 250 kids, and we just visualized our exam going brilliantly. And every step of the way we did, we're walking up there, we're feeling good. We sit down at our desk, we open the exam paper. It's really got all the questions we want. And what I would say is, anytime you feel that negativity, what you've got to do is realize your imagination, and this is good for the question that just came up about social anxiety. Every time you think, oh, I'm dreading that exam, or I'm got to go to that party on my own and face people, social anxiety, whenever you think that thought, instead of thinking about that more and more, imagine the opposite of that, where you go in and see yourself in your head going in and loving the situation, seeing yourself confident, shoulders back, going and talking to people, feeling calm, or going to the exam. writing pouring out of your pen. Brilliant. This, you look at it and think, wow, did I write that? You know, it's almost like what you've got to do is realize, because your imagination, your memory are very closely linked in the brain. What happens is that when you imagine something, your brain thinks it really happened. So if you imagine going to a party, social anxiety, and panicking, your brain thinks, yeah, this is something to be really scared of. So what you have to do is turn that round and practice thinking and imagining and rehearsing in a positive way. Somebody asked about the book. Hold on, I'll get it. Two good books here. One is this one. This is called Grow. I can send Inelja, so I don't know how to say your name, but I can send you the link to that. That's called Grow. That's got visualizations, and it's all about how to grow your mental strength. And it's really for everybody. You could definitely manage to read that one. And then this is sort of for teachers and for kids working at home. This is called the Learner's Toolkit, and it's got about your brain and how to become strong, and it's got actual lessons and activities. And this one's got the visualization and my history of overcoming public speaking as well is in there. So both of those might be good for you, all of you. But the main thing is, look at I'll send the slides to, how do you say your name? Anelja, is it?
Anida.
Anida. I'll send the slides, and then you can look at the challenge. Sure. Challenge yourself every day to to do something, just baby steps at first. That's what I did when I started getting over my fear of public speaking. The first thing I did was ask a question at a meeting, because I just had a baby, at a meeting, and that took all my courage, just to ask a question. And then I built it up to becoming vice chair of the meeting. Then I started running the meetings. And when I was a teacher, don't think your teachers are scared of public speaking. I coach teachers all the time in public speaking. And when I was a teacher, I became a head of house. So I had to do assemblies. And I was terrified of standing up in front of all these kids and teachers. So do you know what I did? I made the kids do it. I pretended that I wanted them to get good at it. So I made them stand up and do it. And then I just said at the beginning, right now, class 3B is going to do the assembly. And that's all I have to say. And gradually I got my confidence. So it's baby steps. Anything you do, social anxiety, whether it be social anxiety, and somebody put in there, I feel as if people are trying to step on my dreams, and that, I feel everyone's against me. That's exactly the sort of habitual thinking that takes you down the rabbit hole of having anxiety and what we call OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, which means that you have habits that make you feel better initially. Like, the checking thing, when you check, have I locked the door? Have I locked the door? Or have I really locked the door? And you keep going back and checking. Don't go back and check, because it makes you feel better at first. But then over time, you have to check not just 3 times, but 12 times, at 20 times. So your brain sometimes, don't always believe what your brain is telling you about what you should be scared about. Step back, do your mindfulness exercise and think, breathe and think, hang on a minute, is this really true? Can I be brave and not go and check? Because that way you build up your brain's confidence that everything is usually okay. So, I mean, I know this has been a very short time for me to be talking to you, but I hope it's been useful. You're welcome to email me or go on my website. Is there anything else that I've not missed in the chat, Anija?
Oh, I think you already covered everything. We've got one more question that says, what are your tips for having an impactful delivery?
Oh, well, well, it's interesting, isn't it? My daughter is now public speaking, runs a public speaking company called Love Public Speaking, if anyone wants to go on it, because she had the same problem as me with public speaking. And she's got loads of tips on her website. So Love Public Speaking, and she's going to maybe do a talk, isn't she, Inija, maybe? But
yeah, somehow.
She would say that for making an impact, it's about gravitas. That's what she'd say. Now, gravitas is about the downward inflection, not that sort of questioning inflection. You know, when your inflection goes up at the end of your, um, I don't really know what to say. You know, that, I can't do it. But you know what I mean? That upward inflection. She would also say, for women, particularly low voice, and I have a problem with that, keep your voice low. She would say, never apologize. She would say, stand up, which I'm not doing now, but always stand up when you're doing a talk. Always think about your body language, eye contact, be sincere and authentic, because that's really crucial to making a good impact in public speaking. And to have that sense of take your pace, and your engagement with your audience is about in your passion for what you're saying, but also the pace, varying the pace, varying the tone. That's what she would say. I mean, I'm not the expert on delivery, but I'm more the expert on managing your brain because I've had to do it. Even though I'm a teacher, I've had to manage my own brain. And I would say I was coaching a year 9 girl, that's a 14-year-old, a couple of weeks ago, and she came and she was so low, so depressed, and she came to me and I gave her one coaching session, and all I said to her was, she said, oh, well, I've got this boyfriend and I think my friends are jealous and they don't like me anymore, and I used to be top in class and I'm not now. My teachers think I'm not doing enough work and I'm worried about that, and my mum's on my back. And she was saying all this, and I said, all those things you're saying, are they all really true? And she said, what do you mean? They're what I know, they're what I think. And I said, you don't have to believe your thoughts. And that one thing, she said, what? I don't have to believe my thoughts. And she said, yes. And her mum said she completely transformed. From that moment on, she was happy. She just let go of things. And since then, I'd see her mum a lot. And she says, I can't believe the transformation in just letting go of your thoughts and realizing they don't rule you. They're not even true half the time. That's my main tip for today. Let go of that shit thinking. Just let it go.
Thank you very much. That was very helpful, I think, for everyone. I'm putting your email and your website address in the chat box if that works for you.
Yes, fine. And if people want
Great.
to ask any other questions or they think about it afterwards, get in touch. I'd love to help. So I think you're all absolutely brilliant for being here. You know, what you're doing, getting on this website, is absolutely spot on. Do those speeches, keep going at it, get other people involved. You know, this is good stuff. So thank you very much, Anija, for doing it all. It's great. I think it's brilliant. But I've
Thank
got
you for joining us today.
okay. Thank you very much. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you a lot.
Bye bye.
All right. So I think now we're coming to one of the most exciting part of today's workshop, because we will be announcing the results of our first national rounds. So I want to first to let you know that we will be announcing the whole list of the results in our website, the ones who will qualify for the global round. But today we will announce only the top 3 speakers for each category. So if any of you sees your name while announcing, I would like you to stand up and say a couple of words, maybe how you prepared about the speech or your experience submitting the speech, and what is your perception of your ideal world shortly. So right now, I will share with you our results for the top 3 speakers for each category. We will firstly start with the youngster boy category, which is age 9 to 14. Are we ready? Can we have some excitement?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the top 3 speakers for the youngster boy category is Saif Agihi from the UAE, Sarah Rebecca Thomas from Bahrain, and Mushaim Khan from Pakistan. So congratulations to all of you guys. And if you are in here, you could please unmute yourself and say a couple of things. Do we have anyone from the top 3 speakers for the youngster boy category? Let me check. All right, so apparently we don't have any from the youngster boy. but I want to congratulate the three of you and all the other speakers who participated. Now we will move on to the second category. Check once more. Okay. So the second category is the Junior Voi. Here are the top three speakers from Junior Voi. We've got Sofia Fagihi from the UAE, Sarah Toshek from Macedonia, Melanie Yink from Malaysia. And I apologize if I mispronounced any of the names. So if any of you is in here, I would like you to unmute yourself and tell us something. If Sophia, okay, Melanie,
Hello.
hello.
Okay. Should I on my camera?
Congratulations, firstly.
Um. Okay. Can you see? Okay. I feel very grateful that I am able to win this competition, even if it's top three. I feel extremely grateful that I'm given an opportunity to progress to the next round, or I'm getting a prize in such a good competition.
Thank you, Melanie, and congratulations. Do you want to tell us a bit how you prepared for the speech? How did you feel about it?
Cannot see. So I prepared for this speech because I was getting inspiration from reading some of the articles that has been going around that gender equality isn't really something that's been going all around, and like usually people are being unfair. That's why I decided to come up with this speech to spread the word, to spread more gender equality.
Thank you very much. Congratulations once again. Okay, so we had the results for the youngster Voi and the junior Voi. Now we will announce the results for the teen Voi. The top three speakers for the teen Voi category, we will be announcing right now. We've got Akshay Ashok from the UAE, Ian Zhao from Malaysia, and Shada Ghazala from Pakistan. Congratulations to the three of you. And if we've got any of you in here, I would be pleased if you could unmute yourself and tell us something.
Um, Hi, my name is Ian.
Hello and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. I feel really thankful to make it into top three. Not because I feel like, oh wait, no, but like I, I think like I didn't really have a lot of confidence to start public speaking back then, but I think that through quarantine I've got a lot more confidence in trying to express myself. Um, and I feel really happy that I managed to make it into top three this round.
We are very proud to have you as well. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going with the last category. From the last category is the
Hello?
senior. Yes.
Yeah. I'm Saida Ghazala Gilani. I would like to say a few words.
Sure. Congratulations to you too.
I'm really happy. Thank you. I'm really happy that I won. And my heart is really beating really fast. Yeah. And I just want to say when I was writing the speech, I was basically thinking living in an ideal world where everything is so perfect would actually be very modernist. And that's why I wanted to talk more about perfect.
Okay. We've got some technical problems. We couldn't
But
hear
they
you
should
properly.
actually make like. Oh.
Okay, we can hear you now.
I was saying that I'm really happy that I won, that I'm in the top three, and that my heart was beating really fast because I won. And I was saying that the inspiration I got for this speech was basically that in an ideal world, everything is really perfect, and that would just make it very monotonous. And nowadays, everyone is striving for perfection, and they want everything to be 100% perfect, which is not really, it's not possible. So they should rather strive and they should rather make progress. So that was my whole point.
Thank you very much and congratulations once again. Okay, so the last category that we will be announcing is the senior Voi category, which is age 19 to 24. And for this age, we've only got two top speakers. that we decided to be on top. So I'm going to announce now the first speaker, Shaikat Majumdar from Bangladesh and Chidima Osai from Nigeria. These are the top two speakers from the senior VoI category. Congratulations to both of you. And if we've got you in here, I would like to listen to you.
Um, Hello, am
Hello.
I audible?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It feels really good to know that I have won it. And to be honest, the topic that we got was extremely motivating. And I am very humbled to know that we could actually win it. And thank you so much, WeVoi, for organizing something so amazing. And also I got the opportunity to be an ambassador for the contest, and also that was a very amazing experience. So yeah, I really loved the contest and I'm looking forward to more of it. I really am. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity.
Thank you and congratulations once again. Okay, and do we have the second winner in here? Okay, so I've got the message from her in the chat box. We also thank you for participating and congratulations to all of you. Okay, so I want to congratulate all of you who participated, those who submitted their videos, all of you who won. It was really an amazing experience watching your videos and listening to your perception of an ideal world. I want to encourage you to participate in the second national round if you couldn't participate in the first one. The topic this time is in My Voice Matters, and the submission deadline is 5 March 2021. Of course, we're living in kind of maybe different situations, and maybe sometimes we all need to show our voice. So it would be great to listen to what you have to say on why our voice matters. So thank you everyone for today. It was great having all of you. And congratulations once again. If you've got any questions, you can ask. All right, so thank you once again, and I hope we can meet in other workshops as well. Stay safe and healthy.